today I thought I would show you how to make gluten-free iced buns. Now I decided to do this because, well, I wanted to make a recipe because I missed them. I haven't had an iced bun in so long because you can only get non-gluten-free ones from places like GREGGS and other bakeries. You can't get gluten-free ones, so I thought, why not just make one myself? And for those of you who don't know what an iced bun is, I don't know if there's something that's popular all over the world or just in the UK. An iced bun is kind of like a sweet bread, and then it's got some like icing on the top, so it's just like the most awesome bready but sweet thing that tastes absolutely great. This recipe is really easy, and it's also easily adaptable to be lactose free, which what I'm going to show you is, and also dairy free and egg free and vegan. Obviously I'll tell you how to adapt it to be all those things, so how to be dairy free, low FODMAP, vegan, everything, as I show you the ingredients, which I'm going to do in a second. But if you want to make this yourself, then I have put the recipe in the description below so that you can either follow along or make it afterwards. As I said, really easy, really fun to make, and I promise you, you will not taste a gluten-free taste. It doesn't taste gluten-free. People who are not gluten-free will enjoy it. Everyone can enjoy it. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, so here are all the ingredients that you'll need. You'll need some caster sugar, just to keep it sweet. You'll need some gluten-free flour. This is actually gluten-free bread flour, but you could use gluten-free plain flour if you can't get gluten-free bread flour. It's not that dissimilar. I just think that the gluten-free bread flour works better in this recipe, so if you can get some, ideal. If you can't, it's okay. Then we've got some butter here. This I've already melted because I want it to be cool and I want to get on with the recipe. In here I've got a mix of xanthan gum and baking powder, and then the final ingredient, minus the topping, like the icing on top, is Greek yogurt. Now I was getting my Greek yogurt out of the fridge and I noticed something. Why I say Greek yogurt is because it's really thick, but then I noticed when buying these two that one is a lot thicker than the other, and I've realised it might be because this is Greek yogurt and this is Greek style yogurt, so it's not necessarily Greek yogurt, but I will just quickly show you the thickness difference so that you get an idea of what I mean when I say thick yogurt. Okay, so here are my two yogurts. This one here is slightly runnier. It's the Greek style yogurt, and ideally I would use something a little bit thicker than that. So this one, if you were going to use this and it seems a bit sort of not thick enough, the mixture, when you've done it, then really that's because probably the yogurt's too runny and therefore you should have had a little bit less, so you might want to add a little bit more flour. However, this yogurt, doesn't matter that I'm mixing the spoons, I don't think, is a lot thicker. As you can see, it doesn't really go off the spoons quickly, and this is what you're ideally looking for. But as I said, if you can't find it, then use a thinner yogurt, but ideally as thick as possible, and just use a little bit less. This might be the case for dairy-free and vegan people because you can't always find a vegan yogurt that's necessarily this thick, but this one is ideal. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, what you need to do, very simply, all the ingredients that I just showed, you need to plop them all into this bowl and mix them together until they form more of a like dough. It will be a sticky dough, but it will be a dough. Okay, so there you go, the dough is all mixed together, and don't be alarmed, it is sticky. It's really sticky. It's much stickier than a lot of other doughs. So what we're going to do now is just leave that to one side for about 25 minutes, and that allows the melted butter and the yogurt to sort of hydrate the dry ingredients, so the flour, and it will make it slightly less sticky, but at the end of the 25 minutes, it still will be sticky, and we will need more flour on the work surface to mould these into the shapes that we want. But I found if you put too much flour in, make it too dry, so you just have to get your hands a bit sort of sticky and it's fine. Why does it matter if it's going to create something super delicious at the end of it? So I'm just going to leave this. It doesn't matter where you leave it. I tend to just leave it sitting right here for about 25 minutes, and then I will come back to you. Okay, so I am back and my dough has been sitting here for probably about half an hour now because I forgot about it. I have put the oven on, it's on 160 fan / 180, so it's now time to shape these into more of an ice bun shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flour this surface and get my hands all floury, and I'm going to be weighing out the dough into about 100-gram pieces. You don't have to weigh it out, I just do so that it's all even. And then I'm going to shape them with the flour and stuff, just so it's not too sticky, roll it in shape and put them onto my pre-prepared baking tray, which I will just quickly show you. I've got quite a small one. It's not that big because I'm only going to make, I don't know, 6 or 7, and I'm just going to put a bit of baking paper on it. But yeah, I'm going to put them on here, but firstly I need to roll this out, and I will be using plenty of flour. Okay, so as you can see, I have put them all onto my tray now, and I have put them with a small gap between each one, and that's because they do expand a little. But you want to have them on a tray that has like edges where there's not loads of space around them, because otherwise they might sort of flatten out. This tray allows it so that they can expand but not spread too much, if you get what I mean. Oh, I also forgot to say, obviously I weighed these all out to be about 100 grams each, but what you just need to do is roll them to be about between 10 and 12 centimeters long, and then that will sort of determine the thickness because you've got the weight. So yeah, that is how you do them to this point. As you can see, once I rolled them in the flour, they have got a little coating of flour on them now from rolling, but they're not sticky anymore, instantly not sticky. Also, you might have seen when I was rolling them out, well, before I was rolling them out and I was weighing them, I was weighing them on my scales. I put a little bit of cling film on the top of the scales because this means that it doesn't stick to the scales and it comes off really easily. Okay, so these are now going to go into the oven at 160 fan, as I said earlier, for about 25 to 30 minutes. You definitely need to watch them because I find that they can brown quite quickly. So after about 20 minutes, I like to check, and if they're brown to the point where I think that's what I want, I just open the oven really quickly, put some foil on, the shiny side upwards, and then just cook them under the foil. The foil is really loose, so you don't need to sort of start putting it round it too much or anything. It's really loose, but it just prevents them from going too dark. If you don't want them to go too dark, obviously they're going to be covered with icing, but still you can see a little bit of it, and it's nice to have them the right colour. So I'm going to pop these into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, and I'll show you them once they're done. So whilst the ice buns are in the oven, I thought I would just quickly show you how to make the icing, which is the most simple icing in the whole entire world, but some people get it so wrong. They get it too runny or too thick, generally too runny, and it's so easy to rectify and it's so easy to just do. So it's glacé icing. You need some icing sugar, just whatever amount you want. I go for 200 grams with this one. Then the other ingredients you'll need are vanilla extract. This is optional, you don't need to have vanilla in there, but I just like a little bit of extra flavour, so I use a bit of that. And then the other ingredient, water. It's literally just water. So you add the smallest amount of water to a reasonable amount of icing sugar, mix it in, and be patient as you mix it in. You don't need much, you just need a little bit, and it will become a nice sort of thick white icing. Now if you put too much water in, all you have to do is put more icing sugar in. If you put not enough water in, then just put more water in. It's really that simple, but you do want it to be this sort of consistency that is thick, like a spreadable consistency, not too runny that it will just like completely dribble off anything that you put it on. And another thing, definitely do not put this sort of icing onto something when things are still warm. Wait until they're cold, but I will show you the consistency that I'm going for in a second. And also, obviously, to finish them off, I've got some sprinkles. These are just Tesco colourful sprinkles. One thing I will say is always remember to check that they haven't got any gluten in, because lots of sprinkles have wheat starch and things like that in. You definitely don't want that, obviously, if you're gluten-free. So just make sure you check. There are lots out there, lots online, lots in supermarkets, but check those ingredients. Okay, so this is the sort of consistency we're going for. It's hard to show you, but like that. You can see how it goes into the icing when it's dribbling off the spoon. You don't want it much thinner than this. If you're going to leave it for a little while like I am, when you get back to it, make sure you really mix it hard, really beat it, and you might need to add a little bit of extra water at that point, but this is what you're kind of going for, around that, because that on something cold is going to dribble a little bit, but not literally all come off. You want it to be white, you don't want it to be sort of see-through in colour once it's on something, which if you have too much water in there, it will be. So you need to add your water incredibly slowly, and then it'll be fine. Right, so I've just got them out the oven, and as you can see, compared to earlier, they have spread massively. They've all like gone together, which is really nice. That's kind of like how I imagine ice buns, all sort of like you pull them apart a little bit. So I put the foil on after 20 minutes because they were about this colour, and then that meant that they could cook for an extra 10 minutes or so without colouring anymore. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave them like this for about 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to transfer them onto a cooling rack to completely cool. So yeah, that's all I've got to say for now, but they look really, really good. Right, so they have cooled down now, nice and soft, and I've just put them on the cooling rack, and I've actually put a baking tray with some foil on underneath because I'm going to ice them, and then that way it will drip through if any of it drips off, which bits will, obviously. It'll drip on here and it'll keep it slightly cleaner. That's the only reason I do it. So I am going to ice them now, and also make sure as soon as you've put this icing on that you put the sprinkles on, because this will start to set and then the sprinkles won't stick to it. So you need to do this, then the sprinkles, and then obviously leave them to set until like the icing has completely set, which won't take very long, and then it's ready for you to eat. Okay, so they're all iced, looking rather lovely. I'm very happy with these, very, very happy. They are going to go down very well later. But first, actually only very, very briefly really, we need to let these set. So the icing is obviously a bit wet at the moment, so you just want it to set. It probably will only take, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour at most. And then we can dig in and I will show you what the inside of these beautiful ice buns looks like, which I think you'll like. But I think what you'll like more is if you make them, because yeah, then you can actually try them, can't you? So yeah, BRB in about 20 minutes. So the ice buns are all lovely and set now, and here is one that I bit earlier. I thought I'd show you, just so that I can show you the inside. That's the reason I bit it, not because I just wanted to taste it. So so can you see, it's got a lovely texture. It springs back. And to be honest, they just taste so, so good. They're like sweet breadiness. They're something that I thought I couldn't eat anymore, and I kind of can't. I can't go to the bakery and get one, but I can eat them because I can make them myself, and you can too. So I'll leave the recipe link in the description below, and if you want to watch more videos like this, oh, it just smells so good as well. If you want to watch more videos like this, then click up here for my gluten-free scones video, and click up here for my gluten-free brownies video. They are the best brownies, honestly. They are the ultimate. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!